Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. Now, as you know, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always was a 2023 superhero television film that was done as a way to celebrate the 30th anniversary of not only Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but also the Power Rangers franchise. And of course is meant to kind of be more of a way to take place more after Cosmic Fury, after the events of the last episode. So the premise of the film is meant to follow Billy and the other Rangers dealing with a robotic version of Rita Repulsa. We see how after Trini sacrifices her life, we see how Zack and also Billy not only have to deal with looking after Trini's daughter, but also have to deal with Rita Repulsa's newfound plan. Of course, also we do see how Trini's daughter is kind of roped in and having to learn about not only being a Power Ranger, but having to decide if revenge is really what she wants. And I give the film credit is that it is trying to show characters like Billy, Zack, as well as the other former Rangers, now older, a lot wiser, and in that next chapter, in their much older adult lives. And it kind of makes sense that Billy thought he could bring back Zordon, but of course, much like anyone who is still older, still has to kind of realize things the hard way. And I think it's also interesting how, yeah, often not being as the villain Rita Repulsa for so long, it's interesting that they do bring back Barbara Goodson as Robo Rita Repulsa, and you can really tell Barbara Goodson really does a good job. I think the main problem that the film suffers from is also relying too heavily not only on nostalgia from Mighty Morphin, but still kind of referencing and using same elements from past Power Ranger stuff. Something that Super Megaforce was responsible for, something that Power Rangers Dino Thunder tried to do with a much older Tommy Oliver and the next generation of Power Rangers. And I can also see where past Power Ranger television writer Amit Bhowmik really wanted to do something different with his take on Ninja Storm, and you can kind of get a sense why he was a bit more annoyed with Disney, as Disney obviously, yeah, did rush a lot of things. And it's also kind of clear that in a way not only is Once and Always meant to be the proper final, but giving the series an actual send-off. And I think it makes sense because given the fact, obviously, with Super Sentai getting way too gimmicky, and the writers for the Hasbro era becoming aware that obviously adapting a gimmicky Sentai series would be difficult, hard, and a complete nightmare to work with. And I think Min's character isn't bad. Again, he's there to kind of understand if revenge is really what she wants. I think he's not as bad as what Connor was in Power Rangers Dino Thunder, who was just there to kind of be that character. And I think Min's character does at least serve as that kind of younger generation fan going into the world of Power Rangers. And I know as well there is a PS5 game and Xbox One known as Rewind that is obviously meant to kind of be a what if scenario if Rita Repulsa's plan did work. Now, is Power Rangers Once and Always a good final? Kind of. But it at least tries to kind of give the series a proper send-off. It at least understands that it can't really keep going the same route that Super Sentai went. And obviously, yeah, adapting a gimmicky series can alienate your fans. It can either make people give up on it, or just draw back their guns and not want anything to do with it. So I think Once and Always definitely deserves two thumbs in the middles. Kind of alright, but kind of okay. So, comic book reviewer here, signing out.